Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
A UFC insider is claiming Max Holloway was knocked out in training, which caused him to suffer the serious concussion that we saw what looked like the symptoms of the concussion leading up to UFC 226. Max Holloway in his interviews, I mean, he was looking terrible, dog. His eyes even seemed like they were shut a little bit. He seemed like he was either really, really high, almost too high, or he was having some serious medical shit going on, because he definitely didn't look like himself. And even fighters that have suffered concussions in training, it's not very often you ever have saw somebody coming into a fight looking like this, like how, and sounding like Max Holloway was sounding, you know, slurring his words and stuff. So it was looking really serious for Max Holloway, but an insider is saying that apparently he had a concussion in training camp. Word on the street is that he got knocked out in training camp and he suffered a concussion, but he was still going to fight. Now, obviously, that could have been very, very damaging for him. God knows what kind of damage he would have taken to his brain if he came into this fight with that serious concussion and still fought and potentially got knocked out again, as we saw Brian Ortega is able to do in his last fight versus Frankie Edgar. Now, with that being said, if you listened to the live show yesterday, here are my thoughts. Who the fuck is stupid enough to hit Max Holloway that hard in sparring? You need to fucking kick them out of your gym. Whoever okayed it, and maybe like we said on the live show, maybe Paige Van Zant walked in and the sparring partner, you know, was like, oh, that's Paige, you know, boom, and just cracked Max Holloway like, look, Paige, you know. All right, you have to listen to the live show to really get that joke, but you get the point, man. This is a situation, you're coming up to a title defense, and it's not like you're going against the hardest hitter in the world, right? If you're going against Brian Ortega, there's like a 95% chance you're going to outstrike Brian Ortega being Max Holloway. You're the Hawaiian kickboxer, the 12-fight winning streak UFC featherweight champion. Brian Ortega is T-City. He's a guy, he's got the clutch gene, but he's known to sort of get outstruck in his fights or be losing his fights. In I don't know, 4 out of 6 of Brian Ortega's UFC wins, he's been losing the fight, if not 5 out of 6 of those. The only fight Brian Ortega was winning from start to finish is the Frankie Edgar fight, and that's because it ended in the first round. And I believe in the first minute or 2 minutes that the fight went on, Frankie Edgar actually scored more strikes. And so with that being said, Brian Ortega is really more known for his dangerous jiu-jitsu, T-City. He's really able to choke guys out. I mean, now with his knockout over Frankie Edgar, he can finish you in either way for sure. But he's more known for his dangerous jiu-jitsu. It's not like Brian Ortega's just coming in here and outstriking all of his opponents. No, he's finishing them. He doesn't let the fight go to the judges' scorecards. And so with that being said, knowing that you're already going to be outstriking fucking Brian Ortega likely. Now, clearly you don't want to get caught because he can knock you out if you get caught. But you don't have to fucking train like Darren Till to prepare for Brian Ortega. I would be doing jiu-jitsu, 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 jiu-jitsu. You're already probably going to outstrike this guy. All you got to do is avoid getting knocked out. Don't make that mistake. You don't have to spar at 100 fucking on 100 just because you're fighting Brian Ortega. And I'm not taking away from Brian Ortega. I'm just fucking pointing out the facts. Max Holloway is one of the best strikers in the featherweight division, not Brian Ortega. So what the fuck is going on through his teammate's head? And I'm putting it on, I'm really putting this on a rogue sparring partner, because that's the only way I can fathom this making sense. Because if you're Max Holloway's camp, if you're his team, if you're his coach, you're probably telling Max Holloway, hey, the fight's coming up in 2 weeks. We don't need to clean anybody's clock. We don't need to get our clock cleaned. You're probably telling the training partners. If you're anybody's fucking training partner and you're training a champion, you're not supposed to turn it up all the way and knock them out in fucking training and potentially ruin their fight. Because if you knock them out and it's way too bad, they don't even get to defend their belt anymore. So what the fuck are you doing? Like I said, you know how it goes. There's a lot of testosterone in the room. Maybe Paige Van Zant walked in, you know what I'm saying, with her new boob job, and the motherfucker was like, oh shit, watch this, you know, and wanted to show Paige Van Zant that he could knock out Max Holloway. But if that's not the case, then this guy needs to be fucking kicked out of the gym. He needs to be excommunicated. Go to another fucking gym. We don't care. We don't need you here. You're going to be sparring that hard. Who the fuck you think you are, TJ Dillashaw? I'm just kidding. TJ Dillashaw probably isn't knocking out his sparring partners. He just trains really hard. But if you're training the champion, it's even a whole nother level, dog. You got to tone it down a bit. Go full on the wrestling. Go full on the jiu-jitsu. Put this motherfucker to sleep if you need to. Let him know that that's a real possibility. I'm fine with Max Holloway going to sleep in training in this training camp if it's from a submission, because he needs to be working on jiu-jitsu. But if you're telling me you're coming in here and hitting him with your fucking hardest shot, that's uncalled for. So whoever did this, fuck that guy. And with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And before we go, shout out to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit the bell right next to it so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And this is the hardest working MMA channel on YouTube. We provide daily updates, predictions, betting advice, we do songs, we do fantasy fights. We've interviewed Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, Bruce Lachmedio, and Felony Charles Bennett, all in just 1 year as an MMA channel. We're one of the fastest growing MMA channels on the net, but we're still small, so make sure you guys go check out the Full-Time MMA Dojo if you want to learn how you can become a full-time MMA black belt. And while you're there, you can see where this MMA channel started from, some of the goals we have for the channel, and even more cool videos just like this one if you enjoyed it. So thanks again to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. And also, if you're just lurking and this is your first time seeing a video, appreciate that as well. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOG.